And well, I want to explain what it is. Some of you know about it and some of you do not. But let me explain why this is a scandal with so many of those who are in the world who may not understand the whole concept of the tithing thing. Okay? Bishop Marvin Winans did not steal any tithing because the my title of the show may seem deceptive for some of you who might don't know the story and you're reading it and trying to figure out what's going on. There was a woman who works for the church. She works in the service sector of for the church, and they allowed her to stay in the parsonage, the house, and she pays a rent to the place. I think it was like $500 a month. Plus, they ask her to pay $200 for the cost of the security system that's in the house. She only makes about, somebody can quote me here or fact check me, I think she makes about between 15 to 18,000, I think it is, a year from the church. There's a school there, the Marvin Winans School, attached to the church or across the street or somewhere near the church. And she also, she's the housemaid, yes, and she also works. Then she began to work in the church, all right? And so they began to ask her for fees and dues and things like that. Thank you, Shantae, 18,000 a year. And then come to find out, well, she was asked for, I think, portioning of her income. Well, the tithing was asked, and the news says that once Bishop Marvin Winans found out that she wasn't paying the tithes, he decided to let her go. And so she had to report to do a exit, what they call it, an exit interview or something like that. All right. So it hit the news there in Detroit. It hit the airways here, and really weird. Remember we talked about the funeral of Aretha Franklin? The funeral of Aretha Franklin and how the death rituals of African Americans were seen throughout the world. It didn't start with Aretha Franklin. It goes back to, I would say, probably Whitney Houston. A lot of people saw the way black people do their death rituals. Marvin Winans just so happened to do the eulogy for her, for Whitney Houston. And then after that, we start seeing men shot by police, and so the Michael Brown, the Pendleton, where Michelle Obama attended the Hadia Pendleton funeral here in Chicago, that went national, and then there were a couple others, and then of course the Aretha Franklin 8 or 9 hour. So America, especially white America, got a little sneak peek of how we bury our dead. All right. But unfortunately, they think that we all churches, all African American churches do this, and that's not so. Her discrepancy was the fact that non-church members are not docked for tithes, and that's the issue. And so she took it to her lawyer, and they decided to sue the church because she's asked to do something that she feels that the others are not asked to do. I think it's a problem. It's a big problem. It's a big problem. What's going to happen here in the comments section is that many of you are going to either defend tithing or talk against the tithing. And I just need you to know that I've done too many shows on tithing. I did too many shows. Too many. If you go on my YouTube channel and on my Spreaker account website, you'll see that I've done too many on tithing. Too many. Why did I have to do all of those? Because of the abuse of tithing. This past Sunday, I was really upset. And I'm going to tell y'all honestly why I'm upset. And you know, y'all can leak this all you want to. I don't care. Yeah, there's going to be a reality TV show around how we, yeah, I know, how we fume. Yeah. Here's why I got upset Sunday. I got upset Sunday because while the offerings and tithes was being collected, I heard a couple of the ministers talk about what God is going to do to people if we didn't give at that particular time. And I heard them use your usual scripture, out of context scripture, about there being holes in your bags. I was at that time I was on the piano, and I've heard these excuses so many times. I've heard these threats so many times. But for the first time, Darlene, for the first time in my many, many years in church, it hit me so hard in my chest that I got so upset that I had to play a hymn to calm me down. Anybody understand this? I heard the preachers, it was two, then three preachers backed them up. One said, there's going to be holes in your bags. The next person said that your car going to break down. Your engine going to stop. You're going to get flat tires. I can't tell you how many years I've heard this. I've heard this over 50 years of my life. I've heard these damaging misinterpretations and threats that God is going to beat people up or either curse them or destroy their assets because a money wasn't given to a body, a building. My spirit was so vexed for the first time in American history from the Sir Walter Jones, this guy. I was so vexed that I was playing my piano and I had to either stop. I almost had to stop and walk out to contain myself. Number two, Lucifer was riding on my shoulder. And I almost said, "Loose here." The mic was right there. I almost said, "Loose here." I almost said it, and I caught myself. I was so upset. So what did I do? I had to play a hymn, not for the people. I had to play a hymn for myself. I was like King David, where I had to encourage myself in the Lord, because if I had said loose here, I would have been out of place. It was not my place to do that. Just because you can do something don't mean you should do something.